Andariki namaskaramulu. Today is another good day for all of us, that we have a different, a subject in the series of webinars. This is the 117th webinar we are going to have today from Velury Sumitra garu. That is music and dance in Vedas and Puranas. First, we will have Vande Mataram. After that, we will do Prarthana. Then you all will be introduced to the speaker. Our speaker will be introduced to all of you. And then we will hand over the platform to her. All of you keep your mics in mute. I will recite. You all can recite along with me, but keep your mics in mute. Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayajasitalam, Sasyasyaamalam, Mataram, Vande Mataram, Subrajosna Pulakitayamini, Pulakusumita Drumadalasobhini, Vasini Sumadhurabhashini, Sukadam Varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. Let us request H.P. Rao garu to do Prarthana, please.
Hari Om, Sarvebhya Swagatam. Ekam Nimisham Jhanam, Tadanantaram Omkaram, Tadanantaram Prarthana, Bhavishyati. Om. 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 Ganapati Havamahe Kavim Kavina Upavasravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanan Brahmanaspada Anasrunvannotabhisveda Sadhanam Om Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dinamavatriyavatu Om Mahasaraswatye Namaha Harihi Om Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrichorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atithi Devo Bhava. Om Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हरिः ओम्। वागर्धाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्धप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। नमस्कारः, सर्वेभ्यः स्वागतम्। आरम्भं कुर्मः।
ఓకే, ధన్యవాదములు. Let us request Krishnamurti garu to introduce the speaker to all of us.
Sarvebhya Namaskara. Today is a very great day. I think I'm audible to you all.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a great day. Now, today we are going to hear from Professor Veda Sumitra, music and dance. And she is a professor in music and dance. And she, from the childhood onwards, she has been dancing very well. And she is a daughter of a philosophy professor of Andhra University, Dr. Professor G. Sundaramaya. And she is also a wife of Velury, a very good reputed HR in charges of many corporates. And his grandfather means his father-in-law was an architect, director, archaeology director. So in that, she has imbibed almost all qualities of dance and all that. And particularly to talk about her husband's grandfather, Velury Sivaramurthy, a great Satavadhani. And he did many Satavadhanams during those days, about in 1800, I mean, he was a Shishya of Avadhana, Tirupati Venkatakaulu. And he I think more than 10-15 literary works he has done it. And to talk about Sumitra, she has been always very good in her profession. And she is a professor in Silicon Andhra. And online she teaches. She goes once in a year to there, and then she gives them lectures, and then she conducts examinations there in US and comes back. And other than that, she has won many awards from her childhood. And particularly, she has worked on the because her father is a philosopher. She has taken many advice from him, and she has also cultivated some of the habits of her father. And today we are lucky to have her here, and she is going to give her a very good information about dance and music in Vedas. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishnamurti garu. Now let us welcome Sumitra ji and request her to start the webinar, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Krishnamurti garu, for saying all that lovely words. And that makes me more nervous when you talk about all my genealogy and all that so-called genius people from my father-in-law's family, and of course my father, who was a professor in philosophy at the University of Andhra University of Visakhapatnam. Well, the saying goes like Pandita Putra. So let me check my knowledge and try to share all that knowledge I have, a little knowledge that I have gathered in the field of music and dance. When I heard about the Veda Samskruti Samiti, so I was really got fascinated, and I have observed many videos. I really thank the Samiti people for giving me an opportunity, and I thank Krishnamurti garu and Akela garu for believing me and giving me this opportunity to share the very little knowledge that whatever I have gained during my journey in learning music and dance. But I haven't learned music formally from any guru. It's an acquired art, I should say. But dance, yes, Gurutaha I have learned. And I've done my master's and PhD in Kuchipudi dance from in Potti Sriramlu University at Hyderabad. Yeah. So let me make a disclaimer. When I look at the august audience, those who are gathered here to listen to my lecture, I understand that I'm the youngest of the lot. And, youngest in not only by the age, and I see that, all of you are seniors, not only by the age, but also in Indic and Vedic knowledge. Hence, I've decided right now that to let me confine only to my domain, that is music and dance. But yes, for any art form in India, I totally understand that for any kind of knowledge that we have in India, the Veda Samskruti, the Vedic knowledge, the Arsha Dharma, whatever that you talk today, the Chatusashti Kalalu, whatever that we mentioned today, we have our roots in the 4 Vedas that we have. So hence, with that preamble that, how Vedas have really laid a foundation for the lateral development of Indian music and dance, and how my form, like the Kuchipudi art, have really taken this Vedas into consideration, and how the different kinds of music was emerged, different kind of abhinaya was emerged from the Vedas, right from the, when you talk about the 4 Vedas, okay, when I literally get into the actual topic, we'll get to know how beautifully these Vedas have contributed for the development of music and dance in India. That I would like to make with that disclaimer and preamble to set in. Yeah, I would like to give you another preamble for starting a lecture on music and dance. Yes, we need to understand that according to our Arsha Dharma, a Purusha must attain all the 4 Purusharthas, right? So what are the Purusharthas? We have Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Dharma, the righteousness, observing our own duties as a son, as a father, as a husband, as an employee. So we have several duties to be observed and performed. So that is called as Dharma. Artha, it talks about the economics, the worldly positions that we have, and accumulation of the wealth and everything. That we call it as Artha. Kama, the desire for everything. So attaining that particular thing. And finally, we realize that all the Dharma, Artha, and Kama are nothing but the illusion. And we would like to get rid of that illusion and finally try to liberate ourselves and get salvation through the adhyana of several things. This, this is an order when you look at the different kinds of ashrama dharmas also. Why I have chosen to talk about this Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha? We have people who have contributed to this particular knowledge, like Manu has contributed to Dharma Sastra. We call it as Manu Samhita and Manu Dharma Sastra. We have Kautilya, who has written, or Chanakya, who has written Artha Shastra, talks about politics and the good governance and the running of a good government and everything. And he talks about economics, increasing the wealth of the country and everything. And we have Vatsayana, who has contributed to the Kama Sastra. It is also called as Kama Sastra, Vatsayana Kama Sastra. And in other words, it is also called as Vatsayaniyam. And coming to the Moksha, we have a good number of books wherein right from the Vedic period, we have Vedas, Upanishads, where we have Aranyakas, Brahmanas, Puranas, Itihasas, and several other kavyas, which have contributed numerous literature for understanding the Almighty and for liberating oneself. We have a good number of literature. So when you look at the first 3 categories of the Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, and Kama, I really feel pity, or I am a kind of puzzled when I looked at the so-called Manu, the Kautilya, and the Vatsayana, the way they really looked at music and dance. Let me just give you a few examples from these texts like Manusmriti and Kautilya Sharda Sastra and Vatsayana's Kama Sutra. Starting with Manu. When you look at Manu Dharma Shastra, Manu clearly says that all the performances, be it music or dance or instrumental music, should follow the tenets of any treatise, and then only one has to perform. Till such statement, I have no objection at all, and I am very much happy that, one has to adhere to the principles while giving the performance. That is fine. Later, Manu says that no woman is allowed to talk to men other than her own family members. I repeat, no woman is allowed to talk to men other than her own family members. But Manu has excluded the women, those who are singers and dancers, and those who are wives of actors and dancers. So I am really wondering, was he referring to the social stigma of the contemporary society and restricting the woman not talking to the other man, thinking that their behavior will be questioned? Or is it a problem of a man to protect his own women of the family, be it a wife or sister or daughter, whoever it is? That's a big questionable thing for me. I'm not into a feministic statement or anything. I'm only trying to bring out how this Purusha, the so-called texts or treatises on the Purusharthas have looked upon what is their pursuit towards the music and dance, and so-called musicians and the dancers is a debatable one. That's all I mean to say. So the Manu says, Na nrutyadadhava gayanna vaditrani vadayet parastriyam yobidade datyadi sambhashana nisheda vidhi natagayanadi dareshu nasti. This is what Manu has quoted in Manusmriti. Fine. Moving on to Kautilya's Arthasastra. Kautilya, in his Arthasastra, he was totally focusing on purely economics only, and increasing the wealth of the state. So he has looked at dance as a commodity or an instrument through which he can generate some wealth to the state. This is his pursuit towards the music and dance. He said, any woman can be given license to perform music and dance, provided if she pays a certain percentage of her earnings as a tax to the government, then she is given license. And that license is also not only to perform music and dance, but she can also earn money through other ways also. Hope you all understood when I said that, through other ways. I don't want to use that particular term, that so-called term that we make use. Fine. And Kautilya also very cleverly put the statement saying that by the time of Kautilya only, we have this Varna system in our society. Like, we have Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudras. So he says the last community, the Sudra community, are only allowed to perform this kind of dramas, dance and music. No other community is allowed to perform. And another way he looked at the so-called dancers and the drama artists is, he said, if the state thinks it's okay, then these dancers and the drama artists can be employed as spies, as SPY, spy. So that they wander in the streets, they gather the information and give information to the government, what exactly is happening in the town. So because they can mingle with the people, because they can act smartly, because they have that spontaneity in addressing any problem or situation, because they can talk so smartly, while keeping all the good qualities of the actors for the purpose of spying. Kautilya so beautifully put that, these people can be employed as spies in the country. And another thing, so cleverly and so thoughtfully, Kautilya was mentioning that, no music and dance performance can be arranged during the daytime. He says any music and dance performance can be arranged only during the dusk time. That is right. This is the right time, like 4 p.m. onwards or 5 p.m. onwards, because he was afraid of the state's productivity. If the people are engaged, otherwise engaging themselves into music and dance, probably the productivity might come down. Thinking that in view, because of the economics of the state, Kautilya said any performance should be performed only during the evenings. And he is also afraid that if these people live within the city limits, probably they might distract and disturb the social life. Hence, he suggested that all these houses should be built only in the outskirts. These dancers, musicians should build their houses only in the outskirts of the village or the town, whatever it is. So this is what the pursuit or outlook of the Kautilya towards dancers and musicians. And coming to Vatsayana's outlook towards dance and music, because he's interested more in the physical pleasures of male and female, he was looking at dance as a tool which can evoke or which can promote the sensual feeling of a male and a female. So he was suggesting that the newly married couple can go and watch this kind of Srungara Rasa Abhinaya so that they can engage in a better way in the later part of the night. That was his outlook. Anyway, dance was looked at in that perspective only for the Srungara Abhinaya. But the brighter side of Vatsayana is Vatsayana was always suggesting that any of such performance, be it music performance or a dance performance, it should be performed only in the temple of Goddess Saraswati. We all know that Goddess Saraswati is nothing but a goddess of knowledge. So he believed that this particular music and dance are nothing but a great knowledge. Hence, these performances should be held only at Goddess Saraswati's temple. And he also said that by any chance or by any obstacle or hurdle, if the program is stopped and if the artist from a faraway place couldn't reach by the time, no performance should be stopped for that night. And the locally available artists should come and present, because audience do come travel all the way just to watch their performances. Hence, a local talent should be immediately called upon and the performance should be continue there in the Saraswati temple. And this is the positive side of Vatsayana when he was talking about music and dance. And as you all know, as a matter of fact, Vatsayana was the first person to list out all the Indian arts into the Chatusashti Kalalu, the 64 fine arts, and music, dance, drama, and several other art forms were given, listed out in the 64 fine arts. So this is about the Dharma, Artha, and Kama Sastras pursuit towards music and dance. When moving on to the moksha side, yes, as I was telling you, we have good number of numerous literature that talks about music and dance, and of course philosophy, the moksha, the liberation, everything, right from Vedic literature to the contemporary literature. Also, we talk about the liberation of the soul itself. Yet, there are certain smritis like Yajnavalkya Smriti, Vishnu Smriti, where these smritis have warned about the musicians and dancers. For example, the Yajnavalkya Smriti says that no Brahman can sing and dance. And Yajnavalkya Smriti clearly says that those who are born to the men of Sudra community and the women of Vaishya community, those who are born to men of Sudra and women of Vaishya community, that means a crossbreed, they are only eligible to perform this music and dance. And Vishnu and Yajnavalkya Smriti further says that no Brahman is supposed to dine along with music artists, musicians and dancers. If at all he found that he has dined along with them, they were declared as Panti Bahyulu. That means they are never allowed to dine with the co-Brahmins at all. So these were the kind of principles or the rules that we were following. And when it comes to Vishnu Smriti says the statement that's given by the so-called dancers and musicians as a witness in the court of law is null and void. So the witness of a dancer and a musician is not at all considered as true. So these were the days how the musicians and the dancers were looked upon. But when you look at the evolution, the origin and the evolution of music and dance from the Vedic period, we really appreciate how beautifully the music and dance have become a part and parcel of the terrestrial and the celestial people. So with this preamble, that how music and dance have really gelled into this particular live stream of our terrestrial and celestial beings, I would like to continue my speech. Sorry for not singing any prayer, because already we have done the prayer. So I thought, let me not have a separate prayer kind of a thing for my presentation. Okay. So before we try to understand the music and dance, why I've been talking about music and dance as a combined subject, though I was using the phrase "and." I would like to narrate a story, a small story, very tiny story, from Vishnu Dharmottara Purana. Out of the 18 Puranas that we have, Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, in the episode called Chitra Sutra, the canto called Chitra Sutra, we have a beautiful dialogue between King Vajra and Sage Markandeya. So the dialogue goes like this. King Vajra, with a passion to learn the art of image making, approaches Markandeya and requests with the folded hands to Markandeya and requests him, saying that, "O Mahamuni, can you please teach me the art of image making? I would like to create my own image of my deity, whom I love the most. I would like to worship the image. I would like to worship the deity. So can you teach me the art of image making?" That is the Silpa Sastra. Markandeya was very much pleased and said, "Hey Vajra, I'm ready to teach you the art of image making so that you can make the sculpture of your own. But before learning the art of image making, it is better that you learn the art of drawing, Chitra Sutra. You learn the art of Chitra Sutra." So Markandeya was astonished and said, "Why the Chitra Sutra?" Then he says, "You need to understand the geometry for everything. You need to understand the different kind of angles. You need to understand the different kinds of positions, and you need to have a blueprint for everything before you make an image print. For that blueprint, for a perfect blueprint, you need to learn the art of Chitra Sutra, that is drawing." Vajra was very much convinced. Then he said, "Oh Maharshi, kindly teach me the art of Chitra Sutra." Markandeya said, "Yeah, wait. I'll teach you the art of Chitra Sutra. But to learn the art of Chitra Sutra, isn't it better to learn the art of dance before you go ahead with the Chitra Sutra?" Then the Vajra was really astonished and said, "Oh Maharshi, you've been adding subject after subject. I'm ready to learn the art of dance anyway. But can you please explain me, why do I have to learn dance in order to learn Chitra Sutra, in order to make an image of a god?" Then Vajra was kind enough to explain, the Markandeya was kind enough to explain Vajra, saying that each murti, each deity that we worship has got a specific feature, specific figure, specific rupam, the form that you need to understand. For example, if you learn the art of dance, then you would know, because the description goes like this. The murti of Buddha is with the Dhyana Mudra. Then you may not understand what is the Dhyana Mudra. Even the slightest change in the mudra might change the usage of it, might change the meaning totally. This is the Pataka Hasta. So you must understand the usage of a Pataka Hasta. If the Pataka Hasta is placed here, that means I'm asking you to stop. The same thing, if I place it here, it is like an Abhaya Mudra. The same Pataka Hasta, if it is placed here, I'm using this like a shade. Same thing, if I move it here, it's that I'm about to beat you. See, the same hasta has got several meanings, several usages. By changing the position of it, even slightest mode would change the difference. I'll show you a smallest difference with the eyeball movement. Hope my eyes are clear. For me, it's very dark. If I look straight, it's like a Santamurti, right? So the slightest movement of my eyeball, it would create a Raudra Murti, like a Kalika, Mahishasura Mardani. For that, the slightest movement, my eye itself is a 1 centimeter, not even 1 centimeter. In that 0.0001 millimeter change also makes all the difference. We have Srungara Murti, we have Raudra Murti, we have Karuna Murti. Buddha should be compassionate with the Athanimilita Netra, and Rama should be with the heroic posture, and Mahakali should be with the Raudra Rasa, and similarly Krishna with the beautiful smile. So all these nuances, whenever you would like to learn these nuances, one must learn dance. Not only the Hasta Mudras, this one is called as Arala. See the distance between both my thumb and the index finger. So, and if I join this one, this becomes Hamsasya. Even the slightest movement has got a lot of meanings in it. So one has to understand these nuances before getting into the Chitra Sutra aspect. Vajra was perfectly happy with the statement of Markandeya and asked him to teach the art of dance. Markandeya again said, before learning the art of dance, one must learn the art of Atodhya. Atodhya means the musical instruments. Why is it necessary? Because dance is based on the rhythm, the beat, the Shruti and Laya, right? So the Laya, you need to understand the different rhythmic patterns. And for understanding those rhythmic patterns, one has to understand the instrumental music. Vajra was convinced to learn the instrumental music. Then Markandeya again said, wait a minute, Vajra. In order to understand the nuances of instrumental music, first of all, you must know the music itself, because it is all dependent on the Shruti. So one has to learn about the Shruti, the Swarasthana, the Sthana, the octave and everything, the musical notes, everything. Otherwise, you cannot really play upon the musical instruments, because the musical instruments, not just the percussion where you give you the rhythm. Tatanchaiva avanathancha ghanam sushirame vacha. So we have 4 kinds of instruments: tatam, avanatham, ghanam, sushiram. We have string instruments, we have percussion instruments, we have wind instruments, and the leather instruments, the ghana instruments. So in order to learn all these 4 instruments, one has to be perfect in Sangeetam. Well, teach me the Sangeetam. Then Markandeya said, wait a minute, Vajra. I'll teach you Sangeetam. I'll teach you instrumental music. I'll teach you dance, then Chitra Sutra, and finally the image making. But to start with, to understand the nuances of the music, you must learn the Sahitya, the literature. Unless you don't know what is a Sahitya, how can you really even sing? Because everything is again the sentiment oriented, the bhasha oriented, the literature oriented. Without learning the nuances of the literature, without understanding the language, how do you really appreciate the music? How can you even sing? In what mood have you really have to sing? Well, Vajra said, oh Mahanubhava, kindly start teaching me the Sahitya, to start with the literature. Then, as you said, in an order, I'm ready to learn all this, the list of arts that you have been explaining, so-called. So, when you look at the dance is basically literature-oriented. What exactly a dancer does to a given poem or a song, right? Then we would like to express the meaning of the literature, what we have chosen, with the help of the Abhinaya, we would like to portray to the audience the poet's literature, its meaning through the Abhinaya is conveyed to the audience. Hence, the poet, the artist, and the audience are in the same zone to enjoy the piece of art that we have been presenting in order to experience that particular aesthetic pleasure, which we call it as Rasananda. So that Rasananda is equivalent to Brahmananda when we refer it in terms of Atmananda and, understanding the Brahman, right? So this is what the literature talks about. Like we hear in Vedas, the conceptual aspects of dance, how through the help of text, music, and Abhinaya has been portrayed. And the fundamental reference, how do we find them in the Vedic period or the Chaturvedas, is the main content, the crux of my today's talk. And hope all of us are good till here. Yes?
Yeah. Go ahead, madam.
Yeah, thank you. So, coming to the Chaturvedas, we have Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharvana Veda. Rigveda, we have taken a reference for the Patya. Patya is nothing but text. And Samaveda for Geetam, that is the music. And Yajurveda for Abhinaya, and Atharvana Veda for the Rasa. So let me give you some of the references that were given in the Rigveda about the so-called deities that were present in Rigvedic period, and some of the hymns which directly addressed the existing deities of Rigveda, like Indra, Marut, Ashwin, Usha, and several other Aditi. We have several other deities in the Rigvedic period. So during the Rigvedic period, these were the gods. Later on, when we moved on to the Yajurveda and Atharvana Veda, literally these Indra, Ashwin, Marut, these people have become the demigods, and they moved to several other places, and Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara were the main deities. So as and when the Vedic period was progressing, we also see a change in the order of the deities and the method of worship and everything. But I'm not going into those details because I see that all of you are well versed with all those details. But let me confine myself to the dance in the Rigveda, how it has, we have beautiful references about the dances in Rigveda. As you all know, Rigveda stands supreme before arise as a work of religion, philosophy, mythology, and of course, the poetry. The major gods that arise in these Vedas are nothing but the personifications of the natural phenomena. In fact, when Amarendra Garu was singing Vande Mataram, I was recollecting that, Vande Mataram, we are describing the entire Bharata Kanda with all the Sujalam, Supalam, Malayaja, Sitalam. So during the Vedic period, we only worship the nature and personification of the natural phenomena we see so beautifully. And of course, these personifications are with the greater heroic and supernatural character when we try to describe them through different kinds of epithets. Of course, to the mortals, they are immortal. Of course, they are immortal, but praising their immortality and praising them with the qualities of a dancer, how beautifully these Rigvedic hymns were addressed, that we will see. So most of the gods and goddesses of this particular pantheon are addressed as fighters, singers, life givers, and they are vigorous and impetuous. They ride on cars across the skies, and they are glorified. They are almost like a glorified human beings. They are inspired with the human motives and passions and born like men, but they are immortal. They dance and sing both at weddings and funerary ceremonies in the hymns of the Rigveda. So while talking about the dance and music of the society, here we must also understand that though I'm giving the references from the Kuchipudi art form, the different kinds of kalapas and yakshaganas and the solo repertoire, the kind of rupakas that we present in the present day Kuchipudi dance. But I want you to understand that the dance and music were simultaneously developing in the tribal society and as well as in the urban, so-called urban sophisticated society also. And we find the traces of Rigvedic traditions even today in the tribal and the folklore. Also, folk people also in the village people also. When we look at the Gramya, Aranya, all these terms in the Vedic period, we see the same kind of practices were practiced in the villages and in the forests also. For example, when I was talking about, the people danced during the marriages and the funeral, you see even today, majority of the lower caste people, mostly the tribal sects and the tribal people, they dance, they sing and dance along with the deceased body, and they march towards the burial ground. Don't you see that? Yeah, of course, they dance. But the sophisticated society, so-called sophisticated society, we have confined only to the Vedic chanting or mantras, chanting the mantras, reciting the mantras, and taking the body to the funeral. Yeah, in the 8th canto of Rigveda, we see a good number of hymns which praise Lord Indra. Indra is always regarded and viewed as a dancer himself. And he is also called as the Ratheshta, the car fighter, and the Soma drinker. He is referred as the Soma Pavan, and the leader of the dancers. And the dancer, he himself is a dancer, and he who makes others dance. This is what the beautiful hymn in Rigveda refers to Indra. Right? And Indra was also referred as a dancer and who danced in a battle and destroyed 90 cities. And the vocative used for Indra here is Ritu. And the term Ritu is derived from the Rigveda itself. Here I would like to deviate a little and recall the story about the origin of dance written in the one and only treatise on dance called as Natya Shastra, written by sage Bharata, somewhere during the 2nd century, dated between 2nd century BC to 2nd century AD, almost 400 years of span was given to him. We couldn't trace his time period. It's a small story again. So the origin of dance, according to Bharata's Natya Shastra, is like this. During the Krita Yuga period, when people were suffering with lots of miseries, Indra, by noticing all these things, he approaches Lord Brahma, and requests Brahma to create such an instrument which can be seen and heard. Kridaniyakam ichchamo drishyam sravyancha yat bhavet. This is what the Indra requests Brahma. Then, taking the 4 elements from the 4 Vedas, Patya from Rigveda, Geetam from Samaveda, Abhinayam from Yajurveda, and Rasam from Atharvana Veda, as an amalgamation of all these contents from all these 4 Vedas, a Panchama Veda called Natya Veda was created by Brahma. And after creating this, Brahma has given this to Indra and asked him to make a performance, produce it. Understanding the inability to produce a production, Indra handed over to Bharata, and Bharata, with all his 100 sons, started performing a beautiful dance drama called Amrita Manthan, where the demons and the deities were churning the Palasamudram in order to get the nectar. So all the people were assembled there, including the gods, goddesses, demigods, apsarasas, demons, yaksha, rakshasa, pisacha, kinnera, kimpurusha, gandharvadi, apsarasa. Everybody were present to witness that program. When the demons have realized that, in the Amrita Manthan performance, they were degraded because it was a failure on Asura's part. So they couldn't take it. They felt that it's an insult for them. So with the magic spell, they have made the Bharataputras who are present in this particular dance form stand still. Indra, after a while, he realized that, it is nothing but the Asura's deed or the magic spell that made the Bharataputras stand still without any performing. So he used his weapon called Jarjara and he has destroyed everything. So this is the connection between the Indra and the dance. Indra was the person who has requested Brahma to create the dance, and he is the one who has destroyed all the obstacles and hurdles that were present while giving any performance. And thereafter, every performer, even today, in order to have a smooth performance, would erect a Jarjara. This is also through Abhinaya only. We would sing mantras, or we would sing some kind of mnemonics that is jatis. Ditta dadiganatom, ditta dadiganatom, ditta dadiganatom. These are the mnemonics that we spell, and we erect and install a Jarjara in front of the stage. And this is the kind of practice even today we see right from the 2nd century AD onwards. This is about Indra and the dance. And Indra was many a times mentioned that, he was visual like a dancer. And the close associates of Indra, Maruts, are nothing but the clouds. And the Ashwins were also described as dancers in the 10th canto of Rigveda. And they were also called as Ritu. Maruts dance, while describing the dance of Maruts, it is said that Maruts were dancing around a well, in a measured step, wanting for the water. And they were described as a Kirino Nrit. That means they are the gay dancers, I believe. Even today, the Rigvedic, one more Rigvedic period says that, when the Varuna Yajnam was performed for the want of rains, when the sacrifice was performed, is being performed, 5 beautiful dancers would carry a pot full of water over their head and go around the sacrificial pit. And once the sacrifice is over, they drop the pot of the water. Then it will start raining. This is the order of the practice. This we see was initiated by the Maruts and clearly mentioned in the Rigveda. In another hymn, Maruts were invoked as dancers, and they were addressed as Nritava. Oh, ye dancers with golden ornaments on your chest. Even a mortal comes to ask you for your brotherhood. So all this is, this kind of description would allow us to understand that Maruts were dancing in a troupe, and they are called as Kirino Nritta. Okay. Ashwins, who are the twin gods whom the singing and dancing was attributed, they were also called as Ritu in many hymns in Rigveda. And then comes the Ushas, the daughter of goddess sun, Surya. She is also addressed as a dancer, and she has got all the accomplishments of a dancer. Okay. And when you look at the Apsarasas from the Rigvedic period, you see a reference of Urvasi, you see a reference of Menaka, not Menaka, Urvasi, wherein, you find Apsarasas dancing. The celestial dancers, they are called as celestial dancers. And when we move on to the Yajurvedic period, we understand that Indra has got his own heaven, his own city to rule and all. And these so-called Apsarasas were called as divine courtesans of Indra. And these divine courtesans, more interestingly, they entice and tempt to test the human sages from time to time. We understand from Vishwamitra Menaka story and from the lords of from the Buddhism, right? So we see many Apsarasas, nymphs, dancing, and they were yelling at Indra with a joy. And this yelling so beautifully described as Omkara. And the Rigveda describes about 16 such Omkaras. So this kind of sound or the nadam that is produced out of the yelling of the Apsarasas is the, I must say, the starting point of the nadam. We call it as nadam, nada brahma. The sound is produced from the body, right? So we have different parts in the body to produce that particular nadam. So when we move on to the Samaveda, when we describe about the dance and the music in the Samaveda, that time I would like to refer to this one. And we understand the birth of Aditi, we come to know that, different terrestrial people, they danced around the Aditi. And, when the deceased body is carried, people were dancing because the man was died after the woman's death, I believe, his own wife's death. And if a woman predeceases before her husband, her husband's death, then also the body is carried with the communal gathering with the music and dance. So this funeral hymn goes like this, the survivors of the deceased, the survivors and relatives of the deceased, they go in singing and dancing, and laughing, requesting the terrestrial beings to prolong their lifespan. So this is about, the ayers of the southernmost country. Even the ladies go to the burial ground with the singing and dancing, and playing the instrumental music is one more interesting thing. This we also find in villages and the tribal practices, wherein playing of this percussion instrument will please the Yaksha, Pisacha and Rakshasa Ganas in order to, get away from the deceased body. Otherwise, they occupy the dead body, right? So to make even today, it is surprisingly, I have observed in my village many a times that particular sound, that particular sound pleases the pisachas. So when they are pleased, naturally they don't come near the body. And the percussion, the teenmar sound, whatever we say today, the percussion, a leather instrument, that pleases Rakshasas. They won't attack the body. So this might sound as a superstitious to many people, but this is the practice that we have been following since ages. And the kind of yelling that Apsarasas were making is called as Yunka. This particular thing is Yunka. And we also find a couple dancing in Rigveda, wherein brother and sisters were dancing together. And interestingly, we have a dialogue between Indra and Marut, and we have a dialogue between Yama and Yami, and we have a dialogue between Pururava and Urvasi. So, referring to the Vedangas, where you have a dialogue system, Samvadam we call it as, right? A Samvadam, what is a Samvadam? Having an argument is called a Samvadam. What are the types of Samvadam that we have? When you look at the Nyaya Shastra, one of the doctrine of Vedas. So we understand that we have Vada, Samvada, Jalpa, and Vitandavada. So these are the 4 types of Vadas, wherein a healthy argument is made, a healthy dialogue is made in order to bring out the truth from that argument, right? This we find also an argument between the Mandana Mishra and the Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya. This is not a dialogue between 2 individuals in order to test their knowledge, but it is to give away the knowledge to the society, was the main aim of this particular Samvada. So Samvada, surprisingly, in Kuchipudi, we have a beautiful darus in Kuchipudi. We call them as Samvada darus. So from that of daru, Dhruva Ganam, we call it as a Samvada daru. So the basic concept or the idea of having a healthy dialogue between 2 people, it may be Yamayami Samvadam or Pururava and Urvashi Samvadam, the idea was taken from the Vedic knowledge, and the Kuchipudi people have developed into a beautiful darus. In the Yakshaganams, I'll just sing 1 or 2 darus for entertaining purposes, so that you will also know how beautifully one has really created this particular daru system. When an argument took place between Satyabhama and Krishna, Satyabhama, who is a very proud lady with all her beauty and wealth and everything, keeps questioning Krishna for everything. So Krishna says that, no, I didn't go to that lady's place. Why are you with me? I'm here right now in front of you. Kindly accept me. Let me get into your house. Then Satyabhama says, no, I'm pretty sure you must have gone to Rukmani's place. I'm pretty sure you must have visited Jambavati. I'm pretty sure you must have visited Mitravinda. With that same body, I don't want you to enter into my house. So how can you believe that? How can I really believe that you haven't been there? Then Krishna says, okay, let me take an oath. And let me take an oath and tell you that I have not been there. Then Satyabhama, for each and every oath that Krishna says, she retorts him back, saying that, it is you who have done this. Should I really believe you? Then the dialogue goes like this. Let me just sing and narrate it to you. When Krishna approaches Satya, he says, Karpura Gandhito Kalayutale Dani Nipulaina Pateda Nenu Nipulaina Pateda Karu chichu batti kabalinchu vaniki nipula naga yentara. Krishna says, I promise, I touch the fire and I promise. Then Satya was referring to the Kandavdahana scene and he says, when you have burned the entire Kandavdahana, if you touch the fire, how can I really believe you? Krishna says, Avana jakshito Nenayutalledani Govunaina Patteda Yevela Govula Kacheti Vaniki Govula Naga Yentara. May I touch the goat and swear, cow and swear on the cow that I have not been there? Then the Satya says, you are a coward by yourself. Then how can I believe you when you promise on the cow? So it is to establish the truth that he is none other than the ultimate. He is the one who danced on the snake. He is the one who takes care of the entire universe. To establish that particular truth to the audience in an entertaining way, Kuchipudi Bhagavatul have developed so many dharmas. And in order to establish the supremacy of the Lord Shiva, in a dialogue between the Bhrungi and the Parvati, when Parvati requests the Bhrungi to allow her to enter into the Kailasa to serve Lord Shiva, there is a beautiful dialogue between Parvati and Bhrungi. Give a chance for me to give head shower to Lord Shiva. Parvati requests Bhrungi. Bhrungi says, Talayanti nirvoya tagunavasaram bemi ninduga nettipai undeganga. He says, there is a Ganges over his head. There is no necessity for you to give him the head bath. Parvati says, Vinjaha maral bhumi Vitunaya Devadevuni Samatiri Pova Pasupati Media Pamule Mella Mella Nagali Mringi Veyu. Here in this dialogue, we see that I'm only cut short the entire dialogue version so that I can add more and more. So in this, we find several dialogues between the couple and we try to establish the truth that here in case of Satyabhama and Krishna, Krishna is the Almighty, and here in case of Bhrungi and Parvati, Paramashiva is the higher consciousness. And we also have an Indrastuti version wherein the devotee with utmost love and affection has got the affinity to even abuse the Lord. Because we have in our system that, 9 kinds of literature. We have Ninda, we have Akhyanam, we have Kavya, we have Prabandha, several kinds of literary works that we see in Padya, Gadya, Mishra. When it comes to the language, we have Sanskrita, Prakruta, Mishra, Apabhramsa, Mahakavya, Lagukavya, Katha, Akhyanika. The literature is so much that it is very, very difficult to encapsulate everything and put into a small 1.5 hour schedule. But I'm just giving you the snippets of each and every piece of literature wherein the dance has literally entered into the Ninda Stuti. Ninda Stuti is a beautiful version when you get into when you really look at the Ramadasi Kirtanlu, Yavadabba Summani Pulukutu Tirigevu Ramachandra. Hope you all know that song. I'm not getting into that song. So there he questions Rama. Whom do you think? Whose wealth is that? You've been adoring everything and you're roaming just like that and getting all the kinds of worships in Bhadradri. And here am I getting the whips from all these soldiers. Why didn't you come and save me? This is a kind of Tevaram, we call it. And Satyabhama, with all her arrogance, she questions Krishna. Yennadu Rani Vada Vipudetiki Vachiti Vemi Karyamo Kanyaku Niku Alkalanu Galgina Napai Prema Puttenu Chinnanati Mutsatalella Chittamuna Talampu Barenu Vinnapamillamani Yetinchiti Vitlu Vinnapamillamani Yetinchiti Vitlu Palu Vintala Delpara Prananayaka. Whatever that she would like to say, she just said everything. And in the end, she said Prananayaka. So this is the kind of beautiful literary pieces that we come across when it comes to the songs and the dharvus, and so beautifully conceived and not deviating from the structural format that we have. When I said structural format, this gives me a thought to introduce you all to the Vedangas, how these Vedangas have really helped us to look at these things, to understand these nuances and incorporate into our dance, right? So in the Vedangas, as you all know that, if you look at the Vedangas into a personified person, we call him as Veda Purusha. Chandas are his 2 feet, and Kalpa are his arms, and Jyotisha are his eyes, and Nirukta are his ears, and Siksha is his nose, and Vyakarana is his mouth. This is what about the Vedangas. So Siksha, what is the Siksha? It is a introduction to a student about the phonetics that one has to really practice in order to learn chanting the mantras. So one must understand the consonants and the vowels. So with the combination of the vowels and consonants and the Nadasthanam, as I was referring to Nadasthanam, Nabhi Prutkantarasana Nasadulayandu Sobillu Saptaswara. You need to understand the intonation, where you have to really stress a particular word, a particular letter, the syllable, and where you have to slightly say it. We have 2 kinds of nada, ahatanada and anahatanada. And ahatanada, when it is produced out of your body, it is called as ahatanada. That with the practice of, that means the siksha, one can really produce this particular phonetical sound from the body. One can generate this particular sound. Where exactly you have to say it in a louder pitch, where you have to say it in a lower note. So Udatta, Anudatta, Swarita. So these are the 3 notes. In the beginning, sir was singing, reciting a sloka, which is in Swarita, Udatta, and Anudatta. Ya evam Veda, yopa mayatanam Veda, ayatanavan bhavati. This is in 3 notes. Swarita, Udatta, and Anudatta, being the middle note, upper note, and the lower note. how beautifully one can play with the tonal sounds and say it with the proper pronunciation. That talks about the Siksha path. When we move on to the Kalpa, where the Vedanga Kalpa refers to all the sacrifices and the omission of certain things, and how you really have to do a particular thing. This we can refer to Purvarangam, that is the preliminaries that are to be observed before any performance. So even in the Natya Shastra, Bharata has so beautifully given an example how the preliminaries have to be observed. So just like in any of the sacrifice, we say the Santri mantras in the Natya Shastra, Bharata has specifically explained about the Purvarangam. And that goes like this. Namostu sarva devebhyo dvijatibhyas subham taba jitam somena vairagyam sivam gobrahmanaya cha brahmottaram tadhaivastu hata brahmatvishastadha prasasthivam maharaja prudhivincha sasagaram rastram pravarthatam chaiva rangasyasya samruddhatu preksha kartur mahan dharmo bhavatu brahma bhashitaha. This is how the kalpa starts actually. And at the end of any performance, we also conclude with Swasti Prajabhyam Paripalayantam. That particular sloka we end with. And when it comes to the Vyakarana, another Vedanga, Vyakaranam is it's like a grammar. What are the names that we, the parts of the speech? When we refer to the Vachikapnaya, what are the different kinds of Vyakarana that we follow? The Sandhi, the conjunctional words, the compound sentences, the complex sentences. What are the different complex sentences that one can really make sure giving a particular pause wherever it is necessary to stop, wherever you have to pause. Otherwise, we will miss the meaning of the entire sentence. So hence, giving a perfect pause is also necessary. So in the Vyakarana, we try to learn about the Vibhakti, Pratyaya, Sandhi, Samasa, Nama, Tadhita. All these components are equally studied by the dancers and the musicians in order to produce a perfect sound. I'll just sing one complete Samasa Vakya wherein the position is very clearly done. This is a letter written by Satyabhama to Krishna. Srimat Ratnakara Putrika Mukharvinda Marantapa Vinisita Milindayamana Nandanam Muchukunda Mandarodhara Parihasita Raka Suthakara Vadana Shri Rajagopa Satyabhama Nitala Tata Ghatita Kamara Karakamalai Sastanga Danda Vandanambulu Samarpinchi Sayankala Vinnapamulu. In this entire complex sentence, where exactly we have to pause, in order to where you have to elongate a letter, where you have to talk a hrasva letter, dirgha letter. So many things that one has to learn in Vyakarana. It is not that easy to present a Vachikapnaya, right? When you talk about the Nirupta, another Vedanga, we always talk about, whenever we talk about a Nirupta, we always talk about the root word and the root meaning of that particular word. We call it as etymological meaning, right? So in dance, how we have developed this Nirupta into a beautiful piece, like, as you all know, that for a single word, there are so many meanings, isn't it? So in the dance, according to the poet's version, we develop upon that idea and we try to create more abhinaya to that same word or a sentence. We have not only the etymological meaning, that is a vyutpatti artham, we have Visheshartham, we have Guptartham, we have Gudhartham, we have Tatvikartham, we have Tattvartham. So, how many ways that one can really interpret this particular any word, that we will see in a small example. I'll just tell you one single word, Allalla Vadu Hariyemu. What is the general meaning of Allalla Vadu Hariyemu? Allalla is a small word. Allalla Vadu Hariyemu. Hey, is that Hari? Is that Krishna? I see. That is the general meaning. Allalla Vadu Hariyemu Yamma. This is the general meaning. Is that Krishna that I see there? How you develop an idea from this particular, making use of this nirukta, bringing out so many meanings from a single word given. We describe him. Allalla Vadu. He's sitting there. Allalla Vadu. I can't see properly. Allalla Vadu. Allalla Vadu. Look at him, how he is sitting. Allalla Vadu. I see a lady next to him. Allalla Vadu. Hey, he's wearing a peacock feather also. Allalla Vadu. He has a flute in his hand. Allalla Vadu. They both are very close. Hariyemo. How beautifully the idea of Allalla Vadu has been developed into different thoughts. Here we bring in the concept of nirukta, though we talk about the etymological meaning all alone while talking about the Vedanga nirukta. Being dancers and singers, in singing also, we bring out a lot of alankaras in it, based on the emotion and the sentiment that being carried. Like, for example, sometimes we make the voice as a choking voice, gadgadikam. Sometimes with a pleasure, sometimes a roaring, sometimes pleasantly. So musicians also adopt these kind of techniques using the concept of nirukta. Here I'm only talking about the conceptual idea that we really bring in. And chandas, of course. Chandas, as you all know, right from a single syllable to 26 letters, we have different kinds of chandas that are to be practiced and said. You know, this particular chandas, especially Gayatri and Anushtup, we developed into Jatis and Jatis, right? So if the 5-letter syllable chandas has to be sing, we have turned it into a Khanda Jati. Taka takita, taka takita, taka takita, taka takita. Prabhum prananatham vipum vishwanatham jagannathanathan pradhanandavajam. So we have converted this particular chandas into the jatis, into the gati, the movement, the bodily movement, and the steps, the various movements that we can really make with our feet. The gait, we call it as a gait. And similarly, with the Anushtup, where you recite with the 8 syllables, you know, that we call it as Chaturasram. Taka dhimi taka chendu, taka dhimi taka chendu. Ayigiri nandini nanditavam. Vishwa vinodini nandanute. Jaya jaya he mahishasuramardini ramyakapattini tailasute. Taka dhimi taka chendu, taka dhimi taka chendu. This we turned it into a thala prastara. So making use of the chandas and going into the details of gatis and jatis, we have created movements into the dance. And Abhinav Gupta, who has written a commentary on Bharata's Natya Shastra, has so beautifully delineated all these details, right? So moving on to another Vedanga, Jyotisha, we may not directly get into the details of Jyotisha, but yes, definitely we have the component of Jyotisha into the dance as per the calculation is concerned. We have taken the element of calculation, like, 3 into 8 is equal to 24. For Aditalam, we have 24 syllables, and we have divided it to 4 parts, and we have created the so-called Sisa Padyam, Khanda Padyam, and we have converted them into a particular style of singing. This is where, directly we may not dealing with the cosmology or astrology, the planetary impact and everything, which is regarded in the Vedic period. But to a larger extent, we have considered Jyotisha as far as the calculation is concerned. This is about the Rig Veda, the components of Vedangas, how we have really embedded the concepts of Rig Veda into the dance. And when it comes to the Samaveda, yes, right from starting from the different kinds of music notes that we see today, right from in the Rig Vedic period, the music was sung only in a single note. Na 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 na. In a single note. Later it is that was called as Archika Paddhati. Then we have moved on to Gadika Paddhati, where we have only 2 notes. And when we have moved into the Samika Paddhati, the 3 notes, Sa, Ri, Ga, as I was referring to Swarita, Udatta and Anudata, later Chatuswari, Panchamaswari, Sashtaswari, and finally we have settled in Saptaswaras, what we call them as Sari, Gama, Padhani, starting from Swaras, musical notes, Gramas, Shrutis, Murchana, Jatis, Varnas, Alankaras, all these components that were developed from the Samavedic period till today. When you look at the Prabandha period, you especially see the kind of evolution that Indian music went through from the Vedic period till the 18th century, till the Venkatamiki have really established the 72 Melakarta ragas. Yes, we have Purvarangam, we have Prarthana, we have Nandi, we have Prastavana, we have Dhruvaganam, we have Tevaram, everything, whatever that you say today, we have Tevaram. The music that we see today is set to different ragas, set to different talas. So all these talas, jatis, gatis, ragas, everything was derived from Samaveda only. When it comes to Yajurveda, yes, when we talk about the style of worship and several offerings that are made to the god, and we see many gestural movements also adopted from Yajurveda. That's why when I was talking to the origin of Natya, I said Abhinaya was taken from the Yajurveda, the hand gestures, the mandalas, the stanakas, the hastamudras, the body postures, and all these postures were used to imitate that particular gods. Like, for Ganesha, we do like this, for Shiva, we do like this, for Vishnu, whatever the iconography was using, Sankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Sankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. For Vishnumutri, we hold, for Lakshmi Devi, we hold this lotus next to our ears. For Ganesha, we hold them here. Similarly, for Lakshmi Devi, we hold the Abhaya and Varada Hastas. Similarly, the Varada and the Abhaya Hastas of Venkateswara Swami. So everything, the Rangadevata Pujanam, whatever that we practice today, is derived from Yajurveda itself. And when we look at the Vishnudharmottara Purana, wherein we really talk about the different kinds of mudras. See, the fundamental difference between the Abhinaya Hastas that dancers use and in the Agamas that the so-called priests perform has got a vast difference. The Hastas, whatever that we project, it is to portray the Abhinaya. Whereas the mudras, whatever that you do, is to internalize the entire thing. So when you internalize, it is called as mudra. When you express outwardly, it is called as hasta. So that is the major difference between the dancers' hastas and the priestly mudras. In Vishnudharmottara Purana, the Vyasa Maharshi has listed out almost all 250 rahasya mudras. And of course, we have adopted everything. And the dancers also do believe in the 5 elements that were residing in this hand. The thumb stands for fire, this one for wind. Sorry, this is for wind and this is for fire and this is for sky, this is for earth and this is for water. When you combine these 5 elements and try to posture everything, so whatever that whatever the elements that they combine with each other, that particular force or that particular energy is imbibed into the dancer's body. That is why in Jaiminia Mahabharata, it is also said that Nrityatam Gayatam Chaiva Nanavadya Prakurvatam Yatha Santushyato Kesavo Dhyana Dairiti Smrutam. That the Lord Keshava is much more pleased when you worship with the music and dance than the meditation, dhyana, and other styles of worship. So much more pleased. So Indian dance and music from the perspective of Manu, Kautilya, and the Vatsayana was totally different. When you look at the Vyasa and the other Puranic people, they have placed music and dance in a higher pedestal, saying that it is one of the tool to attain the salvation. It is one of the tools to attain the salvation directly. Because we sing the Lord, we praise the Lord. Through our dance, through our abhinaya, we imbibe his qualities, we imbibe his characteristics, and we try to portray it. We try to bring out the knowledge, awareness of that particular super consciousness to the entire thing. That's how this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has started the entire bhakti movement through his singing and dancing and started propagating everything. And this is the greatness of Indian music and dance. And when we move on to this particular mandalas and sthanakas, what we are talking in Yajurveda, we in the sense the dancers have got a particular pose that we call it as mandala. Normally, mandala is a square area wherein you invoke that particular energy and you invite him and you install that particular energy in that given space, and we try to worship. That is called as mandala, right? So in the mandala, what we call as, we pose a particular posture with the body posture, invoking the same energy, and bringing that supreme energy into our body. And I think most of you must have watched a recent movie, Kantara, if I'm right. Those who have watched Kantara are fortunate enough to understand the concept of evoking the supreme energy and getting rid of all the worldly shackles and uniting with the supreme energy, supreme consciousness, uniting one among with him and dancing. That is called as Rasa Leela. That Rahasya Leela, that Rasa Leela, a dancer does with the Krishna in the abode is called as Rasa Leela, not the men and women tapping with the dandiya and dancing as a Garba dance, what we see today. That's not the thing. Dance and music has got a higher meaning altogether, higher purpose altogether. This is to understand the Supreme. We are singing the glory of the Lord. We are evoking the energy into our soul. By uniting the Jivatma into the Paramatma, we are uniting Jivatma and Paramatma and residing in that Advaita Siddhanta. Hope you all agree with me. So it might sound a little bit difficult it might sound silly and understanding and accepting whatever I'm saying. But I wish those who have some kind of misunderstanding should practice dancing and then try to understand what I'm saying. Then you will appreciate much more. This is like an offering puja to the gods. The consecration of Jarjara, when we perform the puja, is nothing but evoking the celestial beings and inviting them. Before we do the program, we invoke all the Ashtadikpalakas and request them to take their own places in the stage, in the 8 directions. And we ask them to guard that particular Rangasthalam. It is called as Rangabhumi. And this Rangabhumi and Rangasthalam is equivalent to the Devalaya. Just like you have Ashtadikpalakas in the temple, we have we invite the Ashtadikpalaka forces to come and take their places and safeguard the particular premises where we were singing in glory of the Lord, where we are doing the abhinaya. You need to understand the concept of time and space that are involved in the dance. If I am dancing the Rasa Leela on the stage, it is not that I am dancing here right in front of you, like in a I'm not doing, Sumitra is not doing here right now on the 1st of July 2023. It is about recalling the Brindavan of Dwapara Yuga, where the Krishna is dancing with the Gopikas. Then Rasamandala Madhye Ati Teja Sundara Nitye, Rasamandala Madhye Ati Teja Sundara Nitye, Ravi Koti Sundara Chitre, Nanda Gopa Kumara Charitre. If I can travel to that time and space, I'm also leading you all to that time and space. Right now, we are all in Dwapara Yuga. That is the magic of dance and music. This happens only if the audience are Sahridayas. Only your mind, body, soul are present here with the dancers. You can travel along with me in the time machine. Did you get it? That is why it is called as, dance is called as Chakshusha Kratuvu. This is equivalent to any of the yajna. That which is seen and heard, Chakshusha Kratuvu. In this yajna, those who were there, just like we get the benefit out of the yajna, taking the yajna phala, this dance performance is equally good enough to enjoy the benefits of the dance, enjoy the benefits of the performance, the abhinaya. The phalam is rasananda. Here in worship during the Vedic period, you have Ashwamedha Yaga, that Yaga, this Yaga, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya Smriti. So many things talks about, getting rid of all the worldly things and, involving yourself, understanding and realizing the Paramatma and uniting with them. Through the medium of dance, you are enjoying that particular rasananda. Srungarahasya karuna raudra veera bhayanakaha bhivatsadbhuta santascha navanatye rasa smritihi. With the help of all these 9 kinds of rasas, the rasabhinaya, we are totally involved into the dance. We are into the mood. As I told you, if I enact the role of a Mahishasura-Mardani, immediately you should get that fear in your thing. If it is a Srungara rasa, automatically we get involved into the thing. That rasananda equivalent to the Brahmananda, where you realize the ultimate. So, the dance and the Vedic culture are on par. They are the 2 tracks that, to realize the Paramatma. This is what the Vedic literature has given as a treasure to the Sanatana Dharma, to the Indians. We being Indians should feel proud about our own culture, our own tradition, our own arts, and try to promote them. And I take this opportunity by thanking Dr. S.K.M. Sastri Garu and Akal Amarendra Babu Garu for giving me this great opportunity to share a little knowledge in the music and dance pertaining to Vedas. Hope I did justice for which you have believed in me and given a great chance. Yeah. There are several other topics which I left behind, though I have prepared a lot of notes. I just couldn't do it. When we were talking about the thalas and, you talk about the kala, kashta, nimeshika, when we recite the Lalita Sahasranama, the kala, kashta, nimeshika are all the part of our thala system itself. Avapa, nishkrama, the sannipata, thala, all these things we have adopted into our dance. The kshanakala, nimeshakala. What are all these things? We have adopted into our thala system, time measurement. Everything you talk about, it's there in the dance. Na tat jnanam, na tat silpam, na sa vidya, na sa kala, na so yogo, na tat karma, na tesmin yanna drusyate. There is no knowledge, there is no art, there is no yoga, there is nothing that which cannot be seen in dance. That means dance is a comprehensive art form where you can absorb everything, interpret everything, and perform everything back. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank all the authorities of Veda Samskruti Samiti for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
ధన్యవాదములండి సుమిత్ర గారు. It's a great session we had. It is really given an insight of Veda dance and music from our Sanskrit literature. Really, the first time we are having such a webinar, giving an insight into a particular. And also, since you are the professor in University of Silicon, Andhra,
Sir.
we had a feel of how you take classes from India to the students all over the world.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. This session is really priceless and magical session.
Sir.
And also you have performed, in front of a small screen. So really great. You took us really into some other world of music. So
Thank you, sir.
we definitely would like to have more sessions. And like you have left out, you are saying some topics which we would like to definitely hear them and also experience them. Would you like
Sure,
to take question and answer sessions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah, those who want to ask questions, please do raise your hands. Digital.
I just want to thank her. Namaste ji, very nice lecture. You have completely total Vangmayam you have kept in one vessel and given
Yes,
to
sir.
us just like a juice. Nice.
Actually, I was trembling when you started with Gananatva Ganapati, sir. That's in Triswara. So I was wondering, then
No, I'm not a Vedic Pandit. I just know whatever I learned, I just did that.
Sir.
Okay, anybody who wants to ask questions? And there are some messages in the chat,
Sir.
which I would like to read out.
Yes, sir.
Brilliant presentation and Abhinaya. We could actually feel the emotions. Being a lay person, I could enjoy the session. Blessed indeed. Pranams, Sogandhi. And there is one message from SP Kumar Garu.
Sir.
1 minute. I'm missing it. Yeah, it is a great seminar lecture. No, it is different, but okay, I'll read it out. Lecture by Dr. Srimati Sumitra. She has covered almost all the literature of our Sanatana Dharma from Vedas and Kavyas. This clearly shows the tremendous amount of knowledge she acquired on dance and ancillaries. My hearty congratulations to Dr. Sumitra and wish all the best. This is by, I think, Srinivas.
Thank you, sir.
And I want to read out that. Most comprehensive and wonderful explanation on various aspects of Arsha Sampradayas. Only one flaw is the description of Vedic gods as personification of natural phenomena or forces of nature. Rigveda deities are present in both the Brahmanda and Pindanda in a train system. So this is the comment from SP Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
And okay, any other messages? We'll take it later. First, we'll talk about KVRS Murthy Garu. I'll unmute you. Can you speak? Yeah.
Yes. Professor Sumitra Madam, really we are delighted your wonderful speech on this dance, Kuchipudi dance.
Thank you, sir.
All these years, only we have seen the Kuchipudi dance and enjoyed. But today we enjoyed how you have said about the Vedas, the roots of the dances, and explaining all four Vedas, how this is been affected with respect to the, really a wonderful dialogue, and really we appreciate. And this type, this knowledge has to be a wonderful knowledge to the people who are enjoying the Kuchipudi dance, to also know the roots of these dances. That is one thing. What I would like to just share with you is, this is in when I am seeing this talk, I also visited your university, and I found that you have got a lot of diploma certificate courses.
Yes,
These
sir.
are all online or regular courses?
Online, sir. It's all online.
Online.
The university itself is an online university, sir.
Oh, it's an online university. Online in the sense only in the USA or other?
Everywhere, sir. Throughout the world.
Global.
Throughout the world.
This is wonderful, really great, wonderful.
Yeah.
So I would like to
Because of
listen.
the differences in the time, we have a different sessions. For USA, we have a different session. For UK, we have a different sessions because of the different time zones. And
Okay.
from people from Dubai and Australia, we have a different session altogether, so that the faculty can log in at that particular time and teach them.
These are also, you have included any music also in this, or only dance?
Yes, sir. We have departments like Carnatic music and Hindustani music also, and we have a standalone course called devotional music, wherein all the bhajans were taught by Professor Seshilata garu.
Why I'm asking is my grandson who lives in Tampa is very much interested in this music, and he's an expert in this drums and etc. So he wants to join in this course. When I said to my son, really wonderful, I would like to contact with them, and so this is what used to be.
I'll share the link with Amarendra Babu garu. He will share it.
I'm the regular attendee for this. I will get the links. Thank you very much, madam. We really enjoyed your talk.
Thank
Thanks.
you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Murthy garu. Now, Subramanian garu. Yeah.
Pranamosmi. So, Mahodaya. So we can say that in one word is Adbhutaha. It's a magical and musical session. And so in US, which area your academy is located, madam?
California, sir, Milpitas.
Milpitas. Okay. My daughter also is there in San Jose. So she has a lot of friends. She is having a light music. She also in the light music. But she sings in other way. So I will advise her to join your courses.
Definitely, sir.
And
Definitely.
it's a wonderful session. So not heard. You sang, you danced, you gave a lecture, and you gave an interpretation. And though we know dance and music, but we are today in new vistas we came to know through you. And thank you. And I'm also associated with the Veda Samskruti Samiti. I'm the secretary to Mumbai region. Thank you.
Nice meeting you, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Dhanyawada.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Subramanian. Now, Ratnam garu.
Dhanyawada, Mahodaya. Sumitra ji, you have taken us into another world, and the way you have explained to us the Veda Vangmaya through your dance, that is really very, very enlightening. And I'm very proud of you being there in Silicon Valley, doing all these lectures to all over the world. I only want some information. How can a 16-year-old from California enroll in your classes, online classes? I want to know that information about that.
Yeah, so one can log into the website by name University of Silicon Andhra. Silicon Andhra is a single word. University of Silicon Andhra. We have a website. Therein the courses are listed out, and those and eligibility criteria is also written in that. So one has to undergo the scrutiny and everything. And once they are scrutinized, they'll be advised to take either certificate course or diploma course, depending upon their caliber. We will
Okay.
suggest them to take the classes.
Okay, is there any concession for Manabadi students from Telugu Silicon Andhra?
I think you can deal with the admin with all those details. And once you register, probably you can approach Rajugaru, since you know the Manabadi.
Yes, Rajugar
You
is
can
there.
talk to Rajugaru. He might help you. I'm not pretty sure. I'm not into those administrative things. I only teach there, that's all.
Yes,
Yeah.
my grandchildren are there in San Diego, and they have passed out the 4-year course.
Yeah.
So that is why, and she's my granddaughter is also learning dance, Bharatanatyam, in fact, but it doesn't matter. 4 years since 4 or 5 years she has been learning, but not a regular course like what you did. There is no certificate. So that is why I want these. Can you share that information through Veda Samskruti Samiti?
Sure. Then I'll hope all of you have got what do you call a group for this, or should I share it here? It's University of Silicon Valley.
You can. Colonel Babu Garu can share it in our groups.
Okay, so I'm just writing it in the chat box.
Yes, thank you. And thank you very much for this presentation. And I thank the Veda Samskruti Samiti to give this great lecture to all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Ratnam Garu. Now, since no other people want to speak, so I would like to ask Visalakshi Garu to give her concluding remarks on this. Vivek Garg has started, I think. Vivek Garg? Okay. Ask a minute. Vivek,
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you to give your telephone number, contact number. Somebody was, in the last session was asking. So
My number?
Yeah.
I will share my number to the Dr. Akelaji. And if someone can write, then it's 8310433.
You put it in the chat box.
Yeah, I will write it down. One thing is that I'm running one YouTube channel on the Vedic Vangmaya.
Okay.
So I just want that all of you can join it. Then it's okay, it's fine, because it's a Rishi Sandipni Ved Vidya Pratishthan, which is a Gurukul by the Ministry of Education. Under they have opened their 4 schools, 4 Gurukuls, one in the Guwahati and one in the Kanchi and Puri, and others somewhere in Uttarakhand. So the Vedic Vangmaya course is online. It's not the online, but it's running by the Ministry of the Education. So I just want that our honorable host, our honorable guest, can I also do the one interview session with you in the coming days on the Vedic Vangmaya, how the Vedic Vangmaya is can be.
Okay, let us take it offline.
Yeah.
Now let us one more person wants to ask. KB Rao Garu. 1 minute.
It was a wonderful session. I joined very lately, but the way you explained the connecting the Veda with the dance and other things, and as today actually you made us to understand the dance is nothing but not like only a physical posture, but it is also related to body, mind, and soul. And as you are explaining that, more particularly, I always see some of the dance programs, more by the Gopikas and all that. As if that you are taking it to the Dwapara Yuga. You rightly mentioned that. I liked it very much today. Because whenever we sit and we watch the programs, we always feel that we are in Dwapara Yuga or something like that.
Yes, sir.
It's a wonderful session. My Guruji always used to tell me, one day the Americans will have to teach us the yoga and as well as dance and everything. All our cultural heritage will be preserved only, protected by the Americans, and you will have to learn from them. That is what. So I'm very glad this session, the way you have covered the entire program in a very smaller way in a last just 1.5 hour session. It was a wonderful session, madam. My salutations to you, and I always our Akala Prabhakar Rao garu for every time Akala Prabhakar Rao garu each time he is bringing big people, and somehow it's wonderful that we have in our community that so many highly educated and highly knowledgeable people are there, and we were missing all these days. Thanks to Corona and all that Zoom sessions have really enlightening us and educating us like one. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much. So nice of you.
Okay, Rao garu. In fact, Americans are learning from us, as you see now. Okay, Prakash garu.
Amma, Madam, Namaste, Andy.
Correct.
Actually, today we were very much enlightened by going through your presentation, and we are very fortunate to listen to your presentation, and we are very happy, madam. And actually, when we were just now you told us some aspect of the lecture was you could not cover due to lack of time. So we are eagerly expecting for the same in another session, madam. Please see, we bow to you because of the, I mean, the values you are giving to the you are giving to the society, what we have to do and what we have not done so far, and what we are expected to give to our children. That is the reason, madam.
Okay.
Thank you very much, madam, for the enlightened session. And it is a very smoothly organized lecture, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much, madam. God bless you all with health, wealth, and happiness.
Okay, Prakash garu. Now,
Thank you, sir.
Kalaji. Go ahead. Speak now, Kalaji.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? అది mute లో ఉన్నాను ఇందాక. Okay, sorry. Now, actually, two things, Andy. One, I wanted to know if you can do a series on this. I mean, if Veda Samskruti Samiti finds it possible, a series on this subject, because I think all of us admire the way that this session was conducted. It was totally magical. Now, the second thing is, ఈ కోర్సులో ఏమేమి నేర్పిస్తారు? సిలికాన్ ఆంధ్రాలో కోర్స్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఏమైనా ఉందా? ఎక్కడైనా ఆన్లైన్, లేకపోతే ఓన్లీ బై కాంటాక్టింగ్ దెమ్ దొరుకుతుందా?
వెబ్సైట్ పేరు రాశాను మ్యామ్, యూనివర్సిటీ ఆఫ్ సిలికాన్ ఆంధ్ర. అందులో యు గెట్ ఆల్ ది ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్.
సో మీరు ఇప్పుడు చెప్పినవన్నీ అక్కడ అదంతా నేర్పిస్తారా కూచిపూడి నేర్చుకునే వాళ్ళకి? ఆల్ ద కనెక్టెడ్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ నేను అనడం, దట్ వాస్ very interesting.
Certificate course lo we have a course called spiritual aspects of Indian dance. Adi nene cheptanu, but what exactly I taught here is only exclusively I made only for Veda Samskruti, but general ga మామూలుగా చెప్తాను తప్ప ఇన్ డెప్త్ వి రియలీ ఇంకా వెళ్ళలేదు సబ్జెక్ట్ లోకి. ఇన్ డెప్త్ కూడా వెళ్ళొచ్చు, కొంత చెప్తామండి అక్కడ.
ఓకే, రైట్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Point to see, Madam Sumitra Mahoday, we have started a project, Grantha Parichaya Pariyojana.
Sir?
Grantha Parichaya Pariyojana. So every Vangmaya of the Sanskrit Vangmayam, every subject, every Grantha you take and see with different angles. So this is with respect to dance and music angle, you have seen it. And I was searching for this actually, who will do job. And I'm not getting many people on this Grantha Parichaya Pariyojana to produce papers on different angles. So you have given definitely a very important lecture to us. And this has given a perspective of with respect to dance and music, where it is covered in Veda and other places. It's a very good educative thing, and I am looking for this. This video is very good video for everybody to keep it, reserve it, and see what is there in our Vangmaya. Veda Vangmayam, what is there about dance? Veda, what is there? Like that, every aspect you have covered. Very nice. So better if you give a paper on this, it will be great for me.
Sure, sir.
Please give whatever you are told now. To make it a paper.
Couple of weeks, sir. Just give me a couple of
Doesn't
weeks.
matter. Not very not a hurry. You can make it leisurely and give me some time. We will publish in our journal. We have got a Veda Samskruti Vedavani journal is started recently, and second issue going on in July now. And every quarterly it will come. We will publish in that. Please give a paper on this.
Definitely, sir. Does that have ISBN, sir?
Pardon me.
Does that have any ISBN number? No.
Yeah,
We are getting it. We are getting it.
We are going to
applied already. We applied already. Getting it.
We will get it.
Sure, sir.
And, now, can we ask Visalashkar to give the concluding remarks?
Yes.
Sabhayai Namaha. Today is really very wonderful day. Sumitra madam, I congratulate you personally and on behalf of our Veda Samskruti Samiti also. We appreciate you very much, madam. Today, not only on one angle, you in a manifold angle, you have explained about this dance, music. In fact, 1 in 3, you gave the lecture, you sang the songs also, and you have shown us the performance. As if we are watching the dance program of you, we could enjoy ourselves. So with your gestures and the postures you have shown with your eyes, very wonderful expressions you gave, and regarding the Sri Krishna Satyabhama dialogues or whatever might be, what all notes you have today explained, the beach, they are really super and excellent, madam. Very wonderful job you did today. And as our Archaksha Mahodaya said, you present the paper on our Grantha Pariyojana also, and on our for our webinars also, you can give series of lectures, because many of our that is our members are requesting and asking. And your knowledge is extraordinary, your voice is super, your expression, you are a dancer, the kala we say, the Brahmi luster we say, like that, the luster is on your face and your eyes. Really, I felt very happy. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
I need not have to repeat what all you said, because everybody listened and enjoyed. Really, from that point of view you spoke about, that is from the point of view of dance and music, taking the Vaidika Vangmaya, that's really wonderful. And you have touched all Vedas, Vedangas and everything, and you have shown us how they are applicable. So really, that's very wonderful, great job. I thank you very much, madam, and I congratulate you. I thank our Veda Samskruti Samiti also for giving me this chance to speak at the end for every webinar of ours. I am fortunate to be that is Vice President of our Veda Samskruti Samiti. Really, I'm blessed with our with Paramatma, we can say Samba Sadasiva, who is providing all these programs to be arranged through our Akelda Mahodaya. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Speak.
Thank you so much.
ధన్యవాదములండి విశాలక్షి.
Pasurveti, Sisurveti, Veti Gana Rasam Panihi, we say. Everybody enjoys music. Everybody likes dances, because we say Shruti only listening, that is Shravya Kavya. More than this Shravya Kavya, Drushya Kavya will be more appeasing, because we can see while listening. So seeing gives impact on the mind and heart also, and it gives very good, great impact, and we can remember it forever, and we can grasp the essence what they want to convey.
instead of only just reading or listening, Shravana, Drushya is always preferred and liked. That is why today so many people got immersed in it. So thank you very much, madam. Thank you. Thank our Veda Samskruti Samiti.
Okay.
He is multi-talented.
Mhm.
She is multi-talented.
Yes.
And we hear whenever we gather together, and we enjoy her speeches, her actions, her abhinayas, and all these things. And she has many activities otherwise. And of course, in this small screen, she can express only this much. And it is about 10-fold or 100-fold the messages she can give through her expressions only. And she is very much talented, and we always, that's why I proposed her name to be one of the speakers of our Veda Samskruti Samiti.
Thank you very much, sir. I forgot to mention that point. Krishnamurthy garu, I thank you very much for bringing her to our platform and Vedika, and we welcome her for more lectures.
Definitely, looking forward.
And I expect that Bharatanatyam is more in detail, that Bharatamani is Bharatanatyam Shastra, how that can be seen by the people, and what are the aspects covered by Bharatanatyam.
ETV and Saptagiri for many years.
Oh.
ETV and Saptagiri, she was an anchor.
Okay, very good, very
He
good.
worked for electronic media.
Namaskar. So let us close.
Let us thank Sumitra garu and also Krishnamurthy garu for the concluding remarks, and she is your niece, I think, and so I can't.
I mean, I don't know more than that.
Being even, she is keeping up the name.
So he called me just an hour before the program and he said, all are stalwarts, better you talk properly. Then I said, is this the time to tell me that, I have to watch everything what I have to say? In the beginning, when you have told me that, I'm supposed to talk, that time you should tell me. And he started taking all the names of my lineage, my father and everything. Then I said, probably the expectations might reach peaks so that, I may not do justice. What is this, Maya? Better you not tell me. He said, no, I must tell about your father and everything.
You fulfill that desire. Don't bother.
Yeah.
God bless
No,
you.
my brother-in-law and father.
Okay.
KVR Smoothkari, what?
Sir, I would like to have in my mind to propose one small thing and request to VSS. We are conducting every Saturday and Sunday, and in the concluded section, what I request is we must have a 2-3 minutes of dance or music of this nature, so that a cultural program ends the talks. That is how so that everybody will enjoy that. That's what I meant.
No, we want volunteers to do that. It is a great session, but organizing is a great.
Not physically.
Yeah, we will
Madam can
request.
give a small episode of 2-3 minutes.
We will request.
That we can present.
We'll request Sumitra garu to provide some video.
To organize this section of the webinar.
For the forthcoming sessions, no, sir, or right now?
No, anytime, every webinar, he wants a clip on the entertainment session, on the
Definitely.
music and arts.
Sure.
So if we can handle that session, it will be a great pleasure to us. You can join our faculty as a faculty member of ours. Please, I welcome you to join as a faculty member of ours. Please include her name, Babu, in our faculty group.
Yeah, we are conducting certificate courses of 3 months. As I told you now, madam. So you can also take one topic on this music and dance. I'll give you 1 or 2 sessions. Every session is 1.5 hours. 2 days or one day or 2 days. You can, if you are okay, then do let me know. I'll give you the date for that.
Sure, having videos, sir. So those videos can be shown.
Yeah, that clips she has arranged.
అవి వాడడానికి ప్రైవేట్ చూద్దాం విడిగా చేయొచ్చులే యూనివర్సిటీ వీడియోస్ వాడడానికి ఉండదు నాకు అందుకే నేనేం చూపించిన
Okay. We'll take it separately, like what we
Yeah,
have,
copyright issues was there.
whatever we have done today. So you can always join us.
In fact, we also have an idea of starting an online university, Vedic university. We don't know when God will bless us with that. But we have a idea in our mind to expose the Vedic Vangmayam to the public online, Vedic Vangmayam. And that aspect, research what.
So that Sujata is online. Her twin sister is there from US. She is also now there.
Oh,
Her twin sister is there in US now.
twins.
Oh,
She's online now. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When we see her, as you are saying twin,
Yeah.
when we see
Yeah,
her,
No, we are not
She's
identical.
in US. I think she is available there in
What is her name?
Sujata. Sujata Rao.
please unmute her.
1 minute.
I think she will
It's
be
not-
coming.
She's not there.
It is there. Her name is there. She is there. I think Sujata. And she has come. She has joined.
She is there,
Maybe.
but may not be.
Maybe.
ready.
Sujata Rao, no?
Sujata Rao. Yes.
Maybe she's video is open. Her video is open.
Here there is Balram Murthy. He is my twin brother.
Okay.
He
Twin
is
brother.
my twin brother.
They
Balram.
are identical.
Hmm.
Oh,
This is
And
Guru
he is my
Sujata.
twin brother. Here Balaram Murthy and Krishna Murthy. We are Balaram and Krishna. We are twins.
okay. Okay, great.
They are twins.
Okay.
My voice is muted. This is Sujata.
Yeah.
Sujata, your voice is, you have to unmute. Then you.
Now she has unmuted.
Okay, namaste. This is Sujata.
Who is it? So,
Yeah, Sujata, speak.
Namaste. This is Sujata from Florida, United States.
yes.
Namaste, Andy.
Namaskar. to all.
Like to say anything?
Carry on.
Well, I just landed in the United States from India. So, and ma Krishna Mamaya link pampicharu, and I know how talented and knowledgeable my twin sister is. To be honest with you, I'm holding my tears because watching my sister makes me very, very proud. So that's all I want to say right now.
Yeah. You are proving to
Yeah.
be a twin sister. Yes.
Yes. Yes, my
Mm.
twin sister, and I love her so much, and I wish all the best to her, and God bless her with much more in her future, and I would like to participate in this Zoom call whenever possible. My Krishna Mamaya will send me the link. I would like to be the participant moving forward.
Thank you.
Please give
Sujata
me
garu.
your number. I will give you your.
Put your number in the chat box.
Tappakunda andi, tappakunda.
Okay. Now,
Thank you.
shall we have Prarthana on air?
Yeah. Harihi Om. Om. Sahanavavatu sahanau bhunaktu saha viryankaravavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Satyam vada dharman chara sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kachit dukkha bhavet. Harihi Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idhanavama. Namaskara.
Okay, now we will sing Janaganamana, national anthem. Request everybody to stand up and sing along with me. I may get cut because some problem in my
I'll
laptop.
sing, don't worry.
Okay, I will start.
I'll sing, don't worry.
Janaganamana
Namana Vinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Ujjvala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद जय हिंद जय श्री राम जय श्री राम जय श्री राम नमस्कार
Namaskar. Can we leave, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We'll leave.